we have a problem at the border, and I think you may acknowledge some of that, but you fall short of calling it a crisis. These numbers look to me like a crisis without any viable strategy moving forward. I believe that the cartels, it's been reported that the cartels are making as much as $800 million a year in their human trafficking operation with the tolls that they charge people. Some are paid before they cross the Rio Grande River. Others are paid once they get here and they enter into modern-day indentured servitude, paying back the cartels for the toll over here. And we're seeing estimates ranging anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000, depending upon your country of origin. If I have time, I'll get back to that. Sanctuary cities. ICE, do you consider ICE a law enforcement agency?
Yes, I do.
Do you consider a lack of cooperation among law enforcement agencies as being a potentially hazardous step to take?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe that sanctuary cities is a case example of where local law enforcement refuses to cooperate with ICE?
Senator, the term sanctuary city means different things in different places.
I'm just referring to legislation and policies that were passed in my state where they used it. But
I do not agree when a
net it out. It's like I think a week or so ago where we had 3 illegal immigrants from Romania. They were arrested and charged with obtaining property under false premises, and one was charged with sexual battery of a minor. Thankfully, in this jurisdiction, they did detain them. ICE was allowed to do their job. I've got over 3 million people. State of 10 million. 3 million people living in sanctuary jurisdictions, which is why I've proposed, and will propose again, a violence for victims of sanctuary cities. And it's fairly simple. It says that if a local government entity has a sanctuary policy, call it whatever you want to, refusing to cooperate with ICE policy, we'll call it that because that's fundamentally what they're doing. I feel like they should be held accountable if their actions produce harm. If someone gets murdered, like somebody did in the Charlotte area with somebody who was could have been transferred to ICE, or countless examples across the country. I simply want a private right of action for the aggrieved party or their survivors in the event of death to be able to sue that governmental entity. Now, it's fairly straightforward to me. If the policies are fair, if they're safe, then they've got nothing to worry about. And then if they declare immunity, then they'll be denied federal funds for law enforcement. So make a decision, but don't have the risk of safety. And this is not your problem. I'm saying this to the people in North Carolina and across the country that are implementing these policies. You are destroying good order and discipline among various levels of law enforcement. They are, you are not. They're destroying it, and I think that their actions have to have some legal recourse. Now, have there been any communications with, to what extent have you or people up in the organization communicated to these jurisdictions that a blanket sanctuary city policy is not helpful to Homeland Security?
Senator, this is something that I've spoken with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and CBP extensively. I do not agree.
How many ICE detainers have been issued since January?
I'd have to take a look at that.
2021.
I'd have to take a look at that, Senator.
Did I get that for the record? The number of ICE detainers?
Yes.
And what I'm particularly interested in is granularity. The number of ICE detainers, the basis for the detainer request, and the disposition of that request by local entities. Can I get a commitment to get that information?
Yes, Senator. And I want you to know that I share your concern when a local jurisdiction has an individual or has information that would benefit the public safety of the community and does not share that information with Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Yeah, and we should be clear that I'm not talking about somebody who got into a fender bender. I'm talking about people that may be in there for sexual assault. We know they're in there for that, for trafficking or any number of other violent or potentially violent crimes. So I need that information because I want to put pressure on local governments in the state of North Carolina saying, if you want to do this, I want you to be held accountable. And to be held accountable, we need to pass the Justice for Victims of Sanctuary Cities Act.